Namaste, let's go live on another bicycle live stream. It's Sunday, April the 19th at 7:01 a.m. And I've ridden 27 kilometres all the way up to Emerald Lakes on a coolish morning. It's still only 16 degrees. Anyway, this morning's topic, home. I was just going to call it home, but I added home is where your heart is. And then the bit that I didn't put in the title is your heart is not at home here. So this is what I want to talk about, how our hearts are not at home here. And it's very relevant at the moment because a lot of us are spending a lot of time at home. And pick a gear, Harry, find a gear. There's one here somewhere. Right, got one. A lot of us are spending a lot of time at home, and this gives us the time to reflect, to have introspection, to think about how comfortable we are in our home, and then how comfortable we are here as this home, this planet being our home. And the more we dive deeper, the more we look around in this home that we live in, this planet Earth, we see so many things that are not pleasant. We also see beauty in the world, but we see so many things that are not pleasant. But one of the things, and I touch upon this frequently because this is very, very important to remember, is that our heart is not at home here. And when we start to look around in the world, we see the evidence of this. Imagine, if you will, that you wish to build a house and you build it on a foundation that is very shaky, as in the example of building it on the beach below the high tide mark, and within 12 hours the tide has come in and started eroding away the foundations. So obviously no one in their right mind is going to build a house on the beach knowing how temporary that situation will be, because the ocean will come in and wash the house away. So keeping that in mind, why do we build our home for our heart in such a temporary existence, knowing that the exact same principle applies here? That if we take shelter in our home, our temporary home here, and it is very temporary, then the tide is going to come in at some point. The tide of eternity, the tide of time is going to come in and take it away from us. This means that all we are doing is working against time. We only have so much time, and we're working against it. Every day is a day closer to the ceasing of existence in this body that we are in, before we move out of this body, travel to another time and place, and reincarnate in another body. And we don't know when this will happen. We don't know where this will happen. We only know for certain that it will happen, and that if we live our lives pretending that it's not going to happen, just putting it off and putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, we're not going to think about it, we're going to build our house on the sand, and I can see the tide is getting higher, it's getting closer to the house, it's about to wash it away. If we keep doing that, there is no way we can avoid the disappointment that will come up, and the stress and the anxiety and all the other reactions that we will have when the home of our heart is washed away. We cannot avoid it. So why do we... It's not logical, Captain, to quote Spock in the original Star Trek series. It's not logical to put all our hopes and dreams and wishes and faith and desires onto anything that is temporary. It's just not logical. It will lead to heartache, heartbreak, disappointment, disillusion. It cannot be avoided. So if we know this, if we just look at that very simply, and I mean that's only taken like 30 seconds to explain that concept of a temporary house, or a house built on a temporary beach where the tide is coming in. So if we can grasp that concept in 30 seconds and apply it to the way we're living our lives, maybe, just maybe, we can go, okay, I understand what you're saying now. Nobody gets out alive. This existence we have is temporary. What can I do about it? Knowing this, what can I do about it? I know that at any day, I could leave my body, but I don't know where I'm going. One of the things that I can do about it is prepare for the journey, is be aware, number one, that I'm only here temporarily in this body. Number two, investigate. What will happen to me? Where will I go? What do I need to know? What protection can I take with me? Because everything that I've taken shelter in here, this too will pass. So this is true sensibility, true logic, true intelligence, is when we actually take the time to investigate the thing that we are all running from and avoiding because we are so scared to admit to ourselves and to others how temporary the situation is. So it's not like on some level we're not aware of it, it's just that we don't like to admit it to ourselves and to others, because we have been putting all our hopes and dreams in a completely temporary situation, and unfortunately that's just going to come crashing down. The foundation that we have built our life on is the weakest link. So we need to rebuild our life on a foundation of strength, of truth, of knowledge, of the things that are important, the things that get us away from all the insanity of this world's chaos and bickering and indecisiveness and inability to know what's going on. And thank you for watching, Mark, and thank you for saying hello. So if you're really, really smart, you might just take in some of what I'm saying here and realize the importance of it, and then start seeking the only answers that will matter in the long run, because everything else is going to be with us a short space of time. And it doesn't matter if you have such a blessed life that maybe you've been, like my parents, been married 59 years. It doesn't matter if that's a situation you're in. It doesn't matter if you've managed to live very comfortably. Every morning when you wake up, you are a day closer to losing all of that you have invested all of your time and your energy in. It is actually worthless. All your money, all your achievements, all your dreams, they are sadly, inevitably, in the end, worthless. You cannot take it with you. This is the most important thing for us to understand, that Home is where your heart is, but your heart is not at home here. So please don't make the mistake of taking shelter in this world, in your achievements, in your finances, in your relationships, in anything and everything that we take shelter in. Please look deeper. Now that you have the time for some introspection, look deeper and realize that without a genuine, truthful, spiritual, heartfelt connection, everything else is pointless, meaningless, temporary, and ultimately will not last. And actually, interestingly, it's starting to rain. See, this is the nature of the world we're in. We cannot predict when we'll be dry, when we'll be wet. With any certainty, we cannot predict when we will live in this body or when we will leave this body. So with that in mind, I think I'm going to stop and put my raincoat on. And thank you for watching. I hope this has given you some spiritual nourishment, some spiritual food for thought. Live vegan and save lives. Stay dry. Have a great Sunday. Ahimsa.